shit.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Record. Yep, there we go. Are we on air? Are we live?
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
Let's check the social medias.
Let's
How about this for a deja vu?
this. I like this. This is hot gun right at it.
Yes.
We're just doing it.
And
I like it.
it doesn't look like it's live yet.
You never know. You never know if it's like that's the thing that drives you crazy. Like you never know if it's actually happening or not. You know what I mean?
Couldn't be that easy, critic.
Oh, there you go. Although I saw this, let's see when you get there. I'll start with this.
Oh, you know what? You've been live on many channels, but my Facebook wasn't on.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, I read one of my clients sent this to me yesterday, so I'll start with this while you get settled.
Yes.
Here's what it says. Your business will expose every unhealed part of you. I was like, that's a strong start.
Can confirm.
Your abandonment issues will show up when clients leave. Your scarcity mindset shows up in your pricing. Your control issues show up in your inability to delegate. Entrepreneurship isn't just a career path. It's involuntary therapy that forces you to confront who you really are.
I feel attacked.
Devin, I feel attacked also.
From Alaska.
Devin from
Yes,
Alaska
real
read that to
producers
me
Alaska.
yesterday, and I was like, whew, that's great.
That's brutal.
There you go. It
And
is
it's also
brutal.
100% true.
Very true. Yes.
And even like, so my, whatever you want to call it, like my professional sponsor / recovery-based counselor, coach, whatever, that I go to on Mondays, the real reason I went to that, or I started going to her, was because I knew myself well enough to know, oh, I can handle when the lights are off and everything's crazy and the world's exploding and on fire or whatever. What I can't handle is when everything's going well and improving and trending upward. Because there's something about that, and I don't know if it's a addiction based or where there's something in recovery or whatever, where the ego just wants to step in and go like, man, I'm kicking ass, like look, and so, but in the reverse, where it's like you get exposed, exactly what you said, where it's, I fully transferred like alcoholism to workaholism.
Correct.
Which in the Western Hemisphere,
Totally acceptable.
pays way better.
Absolutely.
Even when you're like literally burning the boats and you're like, wait, I'm still on the boat. It's way better than being, okay, I'm drunk at 7 a.m. and pretending like everything's okay.
Very true.
So, yeah, dude, I feel attacked right out of the gate.
Right off the gate, that's how we roll. We're fired up.
Yes, we are. How's it going?
It's good. It's good.
Right, dude. I love the.
I don't know what's happening. It's just, it's a different day. It's a different day.
If I did that, I'd be like 5'3", man. I'd be like,
that's it. Yeah, there you go. I'm just trying to live up to the hype.
I'm gonna start. You know what? Next week I'm gonna do the old school executive thing. I'm gonna sit up here. And
I need to show you a picture of me next to some of my clients. I did a picture the other day next to Justin Nelson and John Reinhardt, who are both like 6, 7, whatever. And it was great.
Oh yeah, it's like me standing next to Tyler Coleman.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, small little dude.
Yes.
All right, what do we got, man? Let's fire up.
So kudos to you for sending me like ideas. Yeah. And so I put it in the wood chipper.
Yes.
And it's exactly what Devin was talking about.
Yes.
Most entrepreneurs don't have a business; they have a trauma response that pays the bills.
Absolutely.
That is like so painfully accurate.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it until something goes wrong or goes sideways. For me, a lot of times it's I didn't expect it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everything that was being either minimized, masked, or covered up by being busy is now, oh, here's this out in the open, and you have to deal with that on top of whatever it is in your business that's going sideways. And so what do you think, now, percentage-wise, of the folks that you interact with, how many of them have this?
Almost all. I mean, I think we're all dealing with stuff in a different way. But I mean, I think most of us are we're doing things in response, not necessarily proactively, right? We're responding to our trauma, or whatever you want to call it.
React rather than respond.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think you spend your 20s kind of figuring out what you want to do with your life, and then you spend your 30s figuring out who you are. Whoops. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't spend your 30s in therapy, like, you probably need to go back and double down. But like, you got to figure out, like, okay, why am I doing this? What's driving these behaviors? And I think if you don't get to the root of what's driving them, then you're not making conscious choices. So I think for entrepreneurs, it's like one of my clients the other day, she was feeling awkward about. So somebody on her team was having a big closing, And she's like, hey, we're making a lot of money on this deal. And I was like, yeah, so is your agent. And she's like, yeah, but should we give them just all the money because it's a big check, whatever it is. I was like, what are you talking about? Anyway, we got down into it. And I mean, I can feel that, but she was almost feeling guilty that they were making a lot of money. And it's like, okay, where's this actually coming from?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And where am I unconsciously pumping the brakes because I have this belief system? But I think here's the cool thing. Let those things be exciting to find. It's like, oh, that's weird. That triggered the crap out of me.
Yes.
Or, oh, that's weird. I didn't realize it was. So let it be like an exciting scavenger hunt instead of like, oh, another reason this is another reason I'm screwed up. It's like, no, it's cool to find those Easter eggs and be like, okay, now I can do something with it.
It's a thing you can fix and get beyond. And one of the things that I like, conceptually, is the idea of everybody has their thermostat.
Yeah.
Like their base level of, if I'm below my what I think the success level that I'm worth.
Yes.
If I'm below that, I can achieve right up to that. But if I go beyond that, then it's like, well, no, we got to bring the temperature down.
Yeah.
We got too heated. And the interesting thing there is, like you said, figuring out why.
Yeah.
And then nature, nurture, a bunch of different stuff. But the other thing that I still love hustle porn, and I still
absolutely
24/7. So like my one personal computer in my home office that is just like all my dumb shit, like bills and whatever spam emails, catchers, and all that stuff. I have a YouTube on Firefox that I don't actually log into.
Right.
So it's nothing but like Goggins
yes,
and Hormozy and Chris Williamson and all these guys. And so, but one of the things that I heard, and I can't remember, it was probably one of them or all three of them or a combination, where it was most people, especially in today's world where it's nothing but a constant barrage of highlight reels.
Right.
Everybody thinks about like, what do they have that, what do they have that I don't? What do they got that I'm missing or that I'm lacking? And in reality, it's what are they missing that you have? Because the drive, I know at least for me, the drive comes from something's not there, that I'm making up for something. Yeah. And a lot of times it's like, oh, that makes it a little bit easier to realize, but then it's like, I don't know, the great mystery is what is that? And I don't know, have you ever had anybody that actually solved that riddle? Like
in the aspect of like, where's my drive coming from, or what do you mean?
Yeah, or like, for example, like the workaholic thing. Where, it's a simple math equation of you used to get fucked up like 24 hours a day. Okay. Well, when you don't do that anymore, all of a sudden you've got lots of time on your hands. And a little bit, there's an influx of cash that comes with that.
Yeah. But, I think we have certain needs that need to be met. Right. And it's different for everybody. But for a lot of people, like their business is filling some of their needs for significance, or their business is filling their need for variety or whatever. So I think we all have these needs, and there's a different hierarchy. But here's the thing, when I think when it comes to like the workaholism, whatever it is, I think you have people that are on one side that are over here going, I don't want, like there's complacent people, right? And we go, I don't want to be that.
Yes.
And then we go, so the only other option is work all the time or never stop, never breathe, right? No days off, yada, yada, yada. And so we're like, we sure don't want this. So we go over here. But I think that the beautiful thing is when you realize there's this elevated third place you can be, which is like, I love my work. And I'll give you some distinctions. I love my work, but my work doesn't define me. So how I approach my work defines me, right? Like, I work consistently. I want to be effective and efficient, right? I want to be, when I am in my work, I want to be present there. I also want to be able to step out and be able to do. So I think when you do those kinds of things, I think that helps. It goes into what's my identity, and if work is your identity, I think that's where we're in trouble. And I think that's where, like Tony Robbins was talking about this on an interview the other day. He goes, when AI is going to shift all these jobs, but the problem is most of us have our identity wrapped up in our job.
Yes.
So when the job shifts, it's like our world crashes apart. But the root of that issue is I don't know who I am, right? So I think the key is personal identity, and do I know who I am? And that, does that drive my behavior? Does that drive where I get my significance? Does that drive my actions? Does that drive what I say yes to, what I say no to? So I think that's a big part of it.
So then I'll be devil's advocate.
Yeah.
And be like, okay.
I love it.
I'm like, okay, at 57, do I care? You know what I mean? Where there's a part of it where...
why do you think it's wrong?
That's a good question. And it's not that I assess a value judgment or that I say that it's wrong, but it's one of those things that I do have an immediate pushback.
Yeah. because you've said a couple times like I'm a workaholic, or I work too much, or like, hey, I moved this into work. What's the judgment you're giving yourself about that?
I do know that I was raised in the Puritanic work ethic, where if you're not working, and admittedly, like, okay, so like,
if you're not working, you're a piece of crap.
Yeah, we're just lazy.
Yeah,
and admittedly, you know, my grandparents, all of them were, you know, of the greatest generation, you know, World War II era or whatever, where it's like, okay, childhood, lived through the Depression, then World War II, and then it's like, okay, that was shitty. You know, there's like, uncategorically, that sucks.
So would you say your workaholism now is a little bit of honoring a family creed of we work hard and we're not lazy?
Yes.
Okay.
And now I don't know if I would have actually languaged it.
I don't know if you definitely wouldn't have languaged it that 5 years ago.
No.
But some of us, it's interesting. Some of us are living in alignment with family rules.
Yes.
Which is like, here's who we are. We care about these people, or we do this, or we're not lazy, whatever. Right. So part of it is like you're almost honoring this family creed of like we're not lazy. But here's what I want to get to for you. What's the downside of you? What causes you to believe that the amount of time you work is a negative? Why do you think that comes up for you sometimes?
There's the thing where it's like, I don't think it's a negative.
So you don't, but you also bring it up in a negative light. So there's something there. Do you think there's anything you're missing out on by working the way you're working?
Therein lies the actual like introspection, where it's like, because I see somebody, like take for example, my partner Tanner, where it's like he loves to travel, and it's like he would love just for checks to show up in the mailbox, and he goes all over the world. And it's like, okay, I can see where, okay, if I pivot, I could be like, okay, I can see where somebody would want that or like that, but not me. Because like the thing is, like, I hate to travel. Oh my god, it's such an ass beating.
So if you had all the money in the world, or money was unlimited coming at you, how would you do your day-to-day different, do you think?
That's a good question, because I'm actually in that. So you saw my screenshot last week.
Yes.
Okay. So like, let's take that, and from that place.
Yeah. That flipped.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So from last Friday to this Friday.
A little different.
Let's just put it this way. What you just said, if you had all the money in the world, that might as well be true.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, comparatively speaking.
So fun.
My biggest thing now is there's the exhale that comes from, holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about, let's say, 2026.
Right.
Okay, so I've never had that.
Right.
Where I've never had this thing that I've built up to this level.
Right.
With now, at the very least, unlimited runway for the year, let's say.
Yeah.
And the idea that I can test and I can maneuver and I don't need everything or most things or whatever.
Not everything has to be perfect to work out. Yeah.
And so the biggest excitement for me there is, it's not about the money.
Right.
It's about being able to, because for me, for whatever reason, the biggest payoff for me is the validation that comes from an idea.
But let me stay here for a second. What's your ideal, if money was coming in unlimited, whatever it is, what would be your ideal average week? Like, how would you do that? What would be different than it is right now as far as how you spend your time?
I would
you
do more
allocate
of this.
it any different?
I would do more of this.
And less of?
Okay, so for example, I'm starting to now do.
So give me just simple answers. So what would you do more of? What would you do less of?
Okay, I would do less of the actual nuts and bolts of the technical stuff on the back end.
Yep.
So right now, like,
so apart from work, what would you do more of? What would you do less of?
Well, I'd certainly go back to Stretch Lab.
Okay, go back to Stretch Lab. Okay, awesome. What else do you do more of?
Boy, that's a good. There's a good question.
Yeah.
And I think here's one for you. Like, as I volley back over the net, I don't know how much of the fact that I love what I do and that I would do this for free. Well, technically, I kind of do it for free. It actually costs me money or whatever, because I got to pay Austin. But I would do this regardless.
Yes.
So more of that.
Yep.
But like,
so here's my challenge for you.
Yes.
This is what I would do. If I was coaching someone, this is what I would have them do. And I'd love for you to do this in the report next week. I'd love for you to look at the 8 areas of your life, right? Like my finances, my money, my relationships, my friendships, community, service, whatever it is, and look at all of those and go, my life would be absolutely amazing if blank. And think about those areas of your life and see what would you want to be different. Because here's the thing, maybe you'd want to have some more intentional friendship time. Maybe you'd want to have some more date nights. Maybe you'd want to have more days off, whatever it is. But like I would get clear on like, my life would be absolutely amazing if, and kind of think about in those 8 different categories. And see if there's anything that you really want to be different a year from now or whatever it is. But here's the thing. I think some people go, oh, I wish I had more time off, but they haven't envisioned what they would even do with that time. Right? So it's like you got to paint the picture of what you'd actually like to go into.
Yeah.
So sometimes we get clear on what we don't want, which is step 1, but then we got to get clear on what we actually do want. Because if we just focus on what we don't want, we just have more of that. So we focus on what we don't want, we get clear on that, then we go, hey, here's what I do want. But here's the thing for you. I don't know if you've really imagined a different cadence in your life. No, I'm not saying you'd want it or not, but I think it'd be fun for you to imagine a different cadence and then make a conscious decision of yes, I want that, or no, I don't want that. But I believe that for you, your work ethic is great and you enjoy it and it's in alignment with your life. I just want to make sure you're doing it out of choice because that's what you believe is a beautiful life. Not I'm doing it out of response to this creed, or not here's what I do think that is running way underneath that. That downtime feels lazy to you.
Yes, 100%.
And that's, I think, the belief that you need to switch. So downtime is like, hey, time in the pit. Maybe I have some time I get off the racetrack and go in the pit stop for a second, but that's just as valuable as the time on.
Oh, so like I've had to force myself to be okay. Now have like cat sitting helps, but I will lay on the couch at say like 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the cat will get up on my chest and it's like, that's like a sedative, dude. It's like a sleeping pill. But I've had to almost train myself to be okay with that.
Absolutely.
You know,
yes.
Now I will
it's
say,
almost like you gift yourself.
Yes.
Like, you're like, hey, this is, and that's the switch. This isn't like, oh, this is a luxury. It's like, oh, this is part of keeping this high performance machine on the road. Right?
I like that.
I have
The
to
pit
get my
stop analogy.
I have to get my tires changed more than a Camry because I'm driving the McLaren all the time. Right?
We're going 220 miles an hour.
Exactly. Right. But like, so it's like those pit stops. They're not a luxury. That's part of living the luxury badass lifestyle we have. But that's part of it. So it's not a special bonus. That's part of the required self-care. And I think when you see it in that way, you go, oh, this is part of my whole life routine.
And I do know that I have at least a little bit of the idle hands or the devil's workshop.
Yes.
Yeah. And for me, if like the devil clocks in, oh boy, all of this goes away.
Yeah.
So there's probably a little bit or a substantial amount of anxiety that's kind of attached to that.
Yeah.
But I would also freely admit that there's probably more than a little bit of that I use as an excuse.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh my God, you don't want me to have any free time.
Yeah.
You know, free time and money. Oh, look out.
Yeah.
You know.
And then that's where the envisioning come in. Like, man, what could I do? Maybe I could volunteer here. Maybe I could teach kids how to do this. Maybe I could go to the high school and do a workshop on creating film or whatever it is. Like, you know, so I think that's where you got to give yourself a little bit of like creative and dreaming.
Okay,
time
I love that because really up until like, so what you saw last Friday, it was like prior to that afternoon, none of that shit was on the table.
No.
It's like,
no,
you know,
people are like, money doesn't matter. And I'm like, I get that. But when you're starving, you're not thinking about how many families can I go feed, right? It's not like when you're deprived, it's not like, oh, who can I help? It's like, I got it, right? But then once you figure out how to feed yourself, then out of that can come others.
Yeah, it's like when you're drowning, it's like, hey, you're not trying to pull other people into the boat. You're trying to get into the boat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
yes.
So let's see here. So we got, they're running from something.
Yes.
And the business just happens to make money.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
Can confirm.
Yeah. Well, and like we said, I mean, here's why some people can't stop working, right? The working is an avoidance. I can't tell you how many people that we've all been there. I've been there where I'm working because I don't really want to go home.
Right.
Or I'm working because I don't really want to confront my demons. Or I'm working because I don't, right? So is that going on? This is a huge one. Chaos feels familiar. There are so many people that, and this is what I love calling people out on, and I've done it to myself. They actually love the chaos. They go, I feel stressed, I'm overwhelmed and whatever. But you dig deep and they actually freaking love it.
Yes.
Right? They're getting so much from it. And but they're living in this duality. And what I hate about that is that they're living in a self-loathing state, right? They're like, I hate this. This is right. But they actually crave it because when the chaos goes down, they go, oh, let me say it this way. Chaos feels like success. Even though that might be total bullshit. It feels like achievement.
Yeah, there's something about being busy is
Yes.
mistaken for actually getting work done.
For most people, it's like, I think Jim Rohn said it, but for most people, it's like being on a rocking horse. Like you going real fast, you ain't going nowhere.
Right.
But like there's a whole lot of people I know that work real hard.
It's a stationary
they're like, oh
horse.
man, I'm going. Yeah. I'm like, you haven't done like you're not getting anything
Right.
done.
You have
Nothing's
not left
happening,
the barn, sir.
Yes. So chaos feels familiar, and that's a huge thing. And then being needed, man. There are so many people that love to be the fireman. They love to be
or the
needed.
expert, or the or the white
it's
knight.
because they haven't envisioned their next level. Like one of my clients right now, we're doing this whole thing. He goes, "Hey, I want to be able to have more freedom," and I'm like, "Cool," but like you keep answering the phone, you keep being the linchpin for everything. You keep like he's like he tells his staff like, "I'm going to be out of office for a week, but if you need anything, call me."
And I'll answer immediately.
Like,
and I'll pick up.
No, like I'm leaving. I've taught you. Good luck. Right?
Yes.
But being needed, and it's a big one. Like we need significance in our life. I'm not saying significance isn't bad. We need to feel important. We need to feel significant. We need to feel like, but if that's driving your business, you're gonna have a business that has you. You don't have the business.
Right. Then you become the bottleneck that can't be removed.
Yeah.
And okay, so now, and I had that early on.
Yeah.
So one of the things going back to like what I envision or whatever, and when I was talking about just the minutia and the nuts and bolts, it's like I envision now I want to have an army of virtual assistants.
Yes.
And that is so categorically opposite of I used to have a death grip on everything. Because the imposter syndrome back then was, and it was earned. I mean, it was an honest imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
There is a thing where like, okay, if it's day one or month one or year one, if you're doing a new thing and you're a grown ass adult, you probably do suck and you probably shouldn't be there. However, keep going.
I love the beautiful phrase that I heard. I did this board of directors meeting for our dear friend John, who owns Pool Scouts. Shout out to Pool Scouts. And one of the people on his board of advisors said, the goal is to know everything and do nothing. And I was like, what a beautiful way to talk about owning a business, right? Like yes, there's lots of stuff you're gonna do, but like know everything and do nothing, right? And that's the thing. Like I want to be able to, I want to be the coordinator. I'm gonna be the pilot. I want to know everything, but not do anything.
Yes.
And here's what I love. This is my favorite phrase in this whole thing. If rest makes you uncomfortable, it's not because you're driven. It's because stillness would force you to face what you've been avoiding.
Yes, sir. And thankfully, I at least have my tribe of men in recovery. Where like Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, I'm
good.
I'm in that, and then we do breakfast and all that, and like and Sunday morning we do breakfast.
So key.
So that's a thing that unequivocally helped me get to where I am now, because I can go there, and because we're all in the same lifeboat essentially, even though we are not the same.
Right.
And it's like, the outhouse and the penthouse is the old joke where it's like, but if you go to a 12-step meeting, you're all in the same room for the same thing at the same time. And that has been a thing that has allowed me to slowly work my way into, where it's not that I don't do anything, but I don't do most of it.
Yeah.
It's still weird though.
It is weird.
But now I will say this in my own like defense, or there have been a couple of times when Rebecca will text me about, so she's the gal on her phone that I got through Tanner. But like she'll text me about something, and I'll be like, I don't know. Do we do that? Do we do that?
It's beautiful. It's so
cool.
wonderful.
Like how much? Or she'll be like, how much is this? And I'll be like, I don't know. What do we charge for X?
Yeah.
And so there. And what's weird is old me would have seen that as a failing,
right?
And now current me sees that as improvement.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So and I couldn't tell you, other than coming and doing stuff like this where I tell on myself or whatever. And like, last week showing you, it's like, dude, that is not shit that I'm wired to do. Because on a certain level, that's embarrassing. But I've learned to take that and be like, okay, dude, I'm a total gambler. It's
I think that's the cool thing about being in the right rooms too. Like you said, you're in that room with your men.
Yes.
And I think that's beautiful. Like that's why we do E4 and E5 is because you need to be in a room where you can have some stillness, and you need to be in a room where you're called out in your stuff, but also in a room where you're hearing other real life examples.
Yes.
Of someone going, like you just said, like, hey, I gave this away. I didn't think it would work out. Here's how I gave it away. Here's like those real world examples. And if you're not putting yourself in those environments, you're missing out.
Yes. Agreed. And so I know you have a Zoom call in 2
I do.
minutes and 15
Shout out to
seconds.
Matt Sutter. Love that man. We
Yes.
are doing a all day with Rory Vaden going through brand building and avatar, dialing it,
so-
all this amazing stuff. And then
Love that, dude.
in a week and a half, we got E4 and E5, which is crazy. So E5 is filled. We got like 1 or 2 spots in E4. So if someone wants
Right
to get
on.
to Dallas for
so
one
Roy
day.
Vaden, he was the keynote at
Yes.
KW Go launch. Very cool stuff.
Very cool.
And like the brands that he's worked with, he's throwing up like Lewis House.
oh,
and
it's
these guys,
amazing. Yeah.
You know,
So
millions of
fun.
downloads a month.
So fun.
Right on.
Dude, you're
All right, bro.
amazing. Kick some ass.
So like I will go over my list and report back.
Absolutely. Ideal average week. What's a hell yeah for you?
All right.
Boom.
Do it.
Fired up.